Welcome back to Wigs Gaming. Much like the last video, I'm still losing a little bit of my voice, but we will be fine by the time we do ground. I'm just recording these two back to back to get them scheduled, and then I will be able to not rest until tomorrow. Now, what I want to talk about, well, obviously we already know why we're here, and it's about the poison type videos. It's about the poison type Pokemon, and if you can see the fact that I've lost brain cells, it's the fact that I can't get through this intro. Regardless, if you've been enjoying the series, make sure you hit the like button at the bottom of this video. Likes and comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you're new. I really wanted to get us up to 500. That is the goal. So let's see how that goes. Let's start with the poison types, okay? Let's talk about what the worst poison type they've ever created is. And I think the answer is quite obvious. The worst designed poison type ever made is obviously... Do we know what it is? It's Gloom! Wow, I didn't see that one coming. Gloom is literally drooling out of its mouth. Oh, I just found out that's how you can move. I just learned something. Anyway, Gloom, it literally is drooling out of its mouth. And that's all I really need to know. Everything else on here is actually kind of pretty cool looking or menacing looking in one way or another, or just its design is kind of unique. And then you have Bellsprout, but we won't talk about him. But Gloom is just Gloom. It's terrible. I mean, they call it Gloom for a reason. Generation 2. This one is quite easy as well. Qwilfish has no friends. He has no evolution. He won't be getting one anytime soon. Nobody likes this thing, and it's awfully designed. I don't know why they didn't give it an evolution. If they put a Pokemon like this in a modern game, people would be extremely upset. But because it's an old game, people will live with it. Generation 3, it's Gulpin. Gulpin... I like Swalot. I think Swalot's kind of cool, but Gulpin is just very... I mean, he's basically, they're trying to depict just like a fat dude on his normal day, like a fat couch potato type dude who just doesn't do anything but sits at his computer and plays video games. Oh, whoops. Totally not talking about me. Wait a minute. But Gulpin is just not the most ideal. I think Swalot is kind of cool. It's bigger. It's got the color scheme better. And it gets things like Amnesia and a lot of special attacking, boosting moves, which I think is cool. But Gulpin is just a green blob. And then I don't know if this is supposed to be like a leaf or something, but it's not a grass type. So that just isn't making a lot of sense to me. And then Swalot doesn't even have it anymore. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What is going to be the worst poison type of Generation 4? Well, I said that he was the worst fighting type. I did. The ugliest. Sorry, not the worst. The ugliest. But there's something on the list known as Stunky. Stunky is a skunk. Has anybody ever looked at a skunk and thought, oh, that skunk looks so cute. I should rescue it? Exactly. I didn't hear anybody say anything either. Moving on. Okay, so... I said before that I actually really liked Trubbish and Garbodor, but when you're talking about ugly Pokemon, you have no choice but to choose trash and just trash itself. It's a tie between the two of them. I'll put Garbodor on here. I like Garbodor and Trubbish. I do, but they're literal trash Pokemon, so they have to be on here. Generation 6. It's probably Mega Beedrill. Probably for the same reason why it's a lot of things. I don't hate any of the Mega designs except for Heracross. But Mega Beedrill, I think the problem with Mega Beedrill was it has so many stingers. It didn't really get that great of an ability either. It did make Beedrill overall a much better Pokemon, but that's it. I like it, but it's just looking at this list, it is by far and beyond probably the worst of the bunch. Generation 7. This has got to be our Chinstrap himself, probably. If it's not, then it's Salazzle. Nah, it's going to be Mr. Chinstrap. Cool color scheme change. It's still a Grimer. It's still only the Chinstrap. The Muck is super cool. I love the coloration of the Muck, but Grimer is just, don't care for it. Generation 8. We got some options. We do have Toxtricity. We have Sneasler. We have Eternatus. and it's obviously Eternatus. Eternatus is one of the most broken legendary Pokemon they've ever added to the game. It's also one of the weirdest designs and worst designs I've ever seen. What is this thing supposed to be? What is its purpose? Why is it? It's like 60 feet tall or something. It's the definition of an abomination. Now, Generation 9. We got some options here, and I think the answer is actually not that difficult. Because Clodsire, as I've talked about before, is just an actual potato. It's a potato with feet. And you know what's sad? Wooper is like so happy, even though he doesn't have any arms, but he has legs, right? And then the blue Wooper evolves into Quagsire, right? And Quagsire has arms, and he's a happy guy, and he also has arms. Clodsire is a happy guy, but he never grew arms. But he doesn't look that happy. So I think he's kind of disappointed that he wasn't able to grow arms. And instead, he just got 2 more legs. Also, this thing actually doesn't have legs. It just has feet. This is an absolute abomination. It has feet. How does it move? It doesn't have legs to stand itself up. It's just little feet. What do you do? How do you move? I have no idea how this is supposed to work. Regardless, it's the worst. But the ugliest poison type, in all honesty, if I had to pick one, is definitely Gloom. I mean, Gloom is quite honestly one of the worst designed Pokemon. Nobody likes it. Everybody rushes that Leaf Stone to get it into a Vileplume because Vileplume is a much better Pokemon. And I've never heard of anybody sitting on Gloom on purpose when Vileplume's right there. So, yeah, that's it. That's the list. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. 500's the goal. Hopefully we're getting closer to it. And please like the video. I will see you tomorrow for Ground type. Take care.